Hello, thanks for joining me. My name is Julie and this is my YouTube channel, Stamp with Julie Baum. I'm going to be showing you a project today that is associated with my stamp club for August of 2022. Now there are 3 other videos that you can find here on YouTube that are the first 3 projects, 2 cards and a little treat bag. So projects 1, 2, and 3 are from Stamp Club August 2022. You can find those. Today is kind of a bonus project. We typically do 3 projects. I wanted to throw this one in. I think it's something that you're going to enjoy making, especially perhaps with the holidays coming. Between Halloween and Christmas, you might want to use this little treat several different times. So I'm going to show it to you. I'm using a retired stamp set. This is actually from the holiday catalog last year in 2021, Cutest Halloween. I did use it an awful lot last year. I know it was a favorite among lots of stampers. So you might have this in your collection and you can go ahead and grab that if you are stamping with me today. Also grab the coordinating punch that goes with it. If you don't have this stamp set and you're stamping along with me, especially those who are at home using their Stamp Club project packets, just get any Halloween stamp that you have. All you need is a small greeting. We're going to use trick or treat, and a small image. So we're going to actually use the pumpkin and make it a jack-o'-lantern. That's all you need as far as the actual stamps. All right. Let me show you the other pieces that we'll be using. So I have a piece of designer series paper also from last year. Now let me tell you, some of the current available products for Halloween are super cute too. But like I said, I had this. I know a bunch of you already have it, and so we're just going to use some retired product today. So this was from Cute Halloween 6x6 designer series paper. I've cut it down to 4 inches by 6 inches. I'm going to be using my Memento Black. I'm going to be using Pumpkin Pie and Pale Papaya. The Pale Papaya is optional. You can do the whole thing with just these 2 colors if you want. All right, then I have a scrap of basic white cardstock. I have a piece of basic white that I already pre-cut with a Stitched Shapes circle. The Stitched Shapes framelits were an absolutely fantastic set of dies that we sold for a couple years. They have retired. If you have these in your collection, then you're all set. Go ahead and cut out. This is the smallest of the 3. This might be the medium of the 3 circles. This one is about, just less than 2 inches. Okay, so cut one of those out. If you don't have the Stitched Shapes, you're going to want a new set of dies that is available right now. And these are called Stylish Shapes. It's pictured right here in the catalog on page 175. You can see that it's several sizes of squares, circles, and these little banners. It's a fantastic set of dies. So you can have it in addition to your Stitched Shapes, or if you never did buy Stitched Shapes, this would be a wonderful set to treat yourself to, set of dies. Okay. So the first thing that I'm going to do is grab my Simply Scored. I want to make a few score lines on our designer series paper. Now I have seen a few other people make this same little treat pouch, the same one that I'm going to show you how to make, but with a variation. So this is the way I'm doing it, and then later in the video, once the pouch is put together, I'll explain how I've seen a few other people do it, and you can choose the way that works best for you. So I'm laying this in here. I want the long, I want it portrait so that the long edge is running top to bottom, and you can actually place it at any of the numbers because we're not measuring anything. So for instance, I'm just going to lay the edge of my paper at the 8 mark. It doesn't matter, but I'm using the 8 because I'm going to make a score line 1/8 of an inch shy of that. So I'm going to come over to the left and do a score line, and I'm going to come over and move again and put a second one, move again to make a third, and move again. So I made 4 score lines, each 1/8 of an inch apart. That's all you need to do on that side. Now we're going to match it and do the same thing on the other side. So just lay your paper down nice and straight at any of the inch marks, and then you're going to move to the left and do your first one 1/8 of an inch, and then move to the left and score again. Move to the left, that's 3 and 4. So you end up with 4 score lines 1/8 of an inch apart, okay? Now, all that does, it's not even necessary that you do that, but it does add a little bit of texture. And once our pouch is put together, you'll see that that helps make it look finished, okay? Now, I'm gonna flip this over, and actually, I'm gonna set it aside. Let's do our stamping, and then we'll come back to this part. So I have a scrap of white cardstock that I'm going to stamp my pumpkin and make him into a jack-o'-lantern. And before I do that, let me give you this pointer, especially if you're not familiar with this punch. The shapes in here, the ghost, the cat, and the little pumpkin, are arranged in such a way that you kind of want to know that before you go stamping onto your cardstock, because this is going to need to enter the punch like this and line up according to where that pumpkin is going to punch. So as you can see, I do need to stamp my pumpkin in this direction, okay, with the stem kind of over here. So now that I know that, I can go ahead and stamp my pumpkin. Kind of like that, I think it was. I think that'll work. Okay, now that I've got the outline in place, I can go ahead and turn it so I can see what I'm doing. I'm going to stamp the inside of my pumpkin, and I'm going to use pale papaya. But if you don't have pale papaya or you don't want to use it, you can take your pumpkin stamp, the inside image, pick up the pumpkin pie ink, stamp off, and then use that for the center of your pumpkin. That's perfectly acceptable. It's a great way to do it, but I'm really partial to how this pale papaya looks on the inside of the pumpkin. It's just the perfect light orange. So I've got my pumpkin in my 2 colors. See, I really like how that looks. And now let's put the jack-o'-lantern face on with some black ink. And this is going to be ready to punch out. While I've got my black ink out, I'm going to bring that circle in and go ahead and stamp Trick or Treat on my circle, way over to the right and slightly leaning to the right as well. So there's my Trick or Treat. All right, now we can get this out of the way. And get this punched. Okay, I'm going to attach my little pumpkin here to this circle. The left side here is going to stick out off the tag a little, so I want to make sure that there's no adhesive over there. I only want my adhesive on this side. So I've got my liquid glue here. We'll just add a bit of that and put this on, again, slightly hanging off my circle. And then to decorate this, I'm also using a retired embellishment. I don't know if you bought cute stars when they were available. I had several packets of them because I used them a lot last October. And this is all I have left, but it's plenty for today's design. So I think this black one still has a little adhesive on him. Let's see. All right, so I'm going to put 1 star here and a large purple one over here. And I could use a large or a small. I think I'll go ahead and use a large orange one over here. All right, so that's my decorated little circle. And now let's go ahead and put our treat pouch together, and then we can attach this to the front of it. So I'm going to flip this over, and I do strongly recommend that you use tear and tape for this project. I just think that you need the strength of our tear and tape to hold this pouch together. I'm going to put a piece on one short end, so on this right side from top to bottom. And also along the top, so that's one of the long edges all the way across to where it meets the first piece that you already put down. And then one long piece across the bottom here. Hopefully, some of you are stamping along with me using your Stamp Club packet. And if I didn't say this already, if you don't have the cutest Halloween, I think I said this. You know what is so funny, you guys? I was recording this to put it up on YouTube, and I got literally within like 45 seconds of the end, and an alarm went off on my phone, which of course paused the recording. So I had to actually start this whole tutorial over again, which was not a problem, except that now I'm not sure if I already told you something or if it's because I already filmed this once and I said it then. Oh my goodness. All right. So as I was saying, if you don't have Cutest Halloween, grab any Halloween set that you have with a small greeting and a small image. All right. That's probably been said more than once. All right, here we go. What we're going to do is we're going to remove the backing tape from the short side only. So we're going to get that completely removed. Then on the top and the bottom, those two long sides, I'm going to start to remove it, but watch what I do. I'm going to peel it and then just fold it. So it's going to just sit there like a little tab, and I'll do the same thing to the bottom. Okay, now if at any time you need to pause the video and catch up, feel free to do that and then just resume. All right, so that's ready to go. Now we're going to take our treat that goes inside. So these little Snickers brownies are delicious. They come in two different flavors that I have found. So this is the peanut brownie, and then this one is the almond brownie with dark chocolate. So it's up to you. Almond and dark chocolate kind of sounds delicious. I did find these one time at Target, and I've been to Target twice since then and did not find them. But my grocery store had the peanut ones. So you might have to look around. I think they're a rather new product. So try Walmart, Target, your grocery store. They are really an adorable little size. I'm going to use this one to put in this treat pouch. So I'm just going to flip it over like this, and it's going to lay there. Now all I have to do is take the left side of my paper. I'm just going to fold it over, and I'm doing it loosely. It's not wrapped super tight on the treat. And then this side that has the tape exposed, I'm going to bring up and over. Like so, and seal that. Okay, that's step one. Then holding on to the whole thing, including the treat, I'm going to just pick it up, and I'm going to use this little tab and peel that out. Now I can seal the bottom. Just pinch it shut. Cute. Okay, like that. And then I can grab this tab and peel that one out, although I just ripped that one. And that was a first. There we go. Peel that out. And now I can pinch the top of this one together as well. So now it's all pinched in there. It's just snug enough to hold the treat. It's really quite adorable. It's a custom fit little thing. Now, if you had this happen on one end, see, this end is perfect. If you had this happen on one end, no big deal. Just take your paper snips and snip off that tiny little piece that's sticking out, and then your eye won't catch it. All right. there's no way that you're going to have a big chunk sticking out because of the nature of our little pouch. All right, so there's that. Now let me mention to you, I did it this way because it worked much better for me. I did case this little pouch project from another couple of sites that I saw. And on those sites, the demonstrators took the pouch at this point and did the scoring on it. Okay, so they had not pre-scored. They took the completed pouch, laid it on here, and did the scoring at this point. I tried that and it did not work for me. So I would rather give you something that I feel like works better, which is what we did. When I did the score marks, I was lucky to get 3. There was no way I could get 4. And on the time that I tried to get the 4th, it actually tore the designer paper. So it just didn't work for me to do the scoring after. So that is why in my tutorial, I'm having you score it first. And now it still looks adorable. You have the finished little ends that look crimped. Okay, let's take our twine. This is a retired twine from long ago that's black and orange, but you could certainly use plain solid black or solid white, and those are available currently in our catalog. I'm going to tie this into a bow. So I'm going to see if I can kind of hold onto it tight enough as I wrap this up instead of having to grab my scissors to help out. Or my tweezers. I don't know if I'll be able to do it. Let me try it one more time. Twine is pretty tiny. All right, there, I think I got it. Okay, so there is, do I have it? Okay, I'm gonna have to tie my bow 3 times. Of course, when I made it earlier, I did it on the first try. Isn't that the way it goes? Okay, that's how we want it to look. Okay, so there is my bow. And then before I do any trimming or anything else, I want to go ahead and put our little decorative piece on. So you could use some tear and tape on this or a couple of dimensionals. So I think I'll use a couple dimensionals. I am going to put them a little bit to the side instead of center because I can tell that where this is going, that's going to be a little bit better. All right, so I can tuck that. Now I can fiddle with my bow and make sure that the loops are the size that I want, and then trim my tails. And you can also decide at this point, if you don't want that to slide, because I know it is going to slide around, you can do the little trick with a glue dot. So if you want to do this, you don't have to. If you want to, grab a glue dot, pull it off the backing with your, take your pick tool, kind of globbing it up into a little ball. Then I'm going to tuck this under. My goal is for it to go right under the knot of my bow, which I have been successful doing. All right, so then you can squish the twine down into that glue dot, and now it's going to stay nicely in place and it's not going to shift around. All right, trim these, and there you have an adorable little Halloween treat. And as I said before, I think that you could make some super cute fall, Thanksgiving, Christmas, all kinds of different theme pouches. And what a nice little favor or treat to hand out to your friends and neighbors. Thank you so much for watching. I want to remind you that this was the bonus project to Stamp Club. There are 3 other projects, our main 3 projects. Each one has its own video. I will put a link here in the corner to one of those other videos so that you can follow the Stamp Club videos easily. And down below in the description of this video, I will put a lot of information, including a host code and also the products that we used for the project, as well as some shopping links. If you haven't subscribed to my channel, I invite you to do so. It really helps me a lot. And I would also love, if you liked this video, for you to give me a thumbs up and perhaps leave a comment. YouTube likes it and I like it. So thank you for doing that. And until next time, happy stamping.